Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to the Starcraft 2 Own It Check. It's David here bringing you episode 15 of my Master League quest. Looks like it's going to be a Terran versus Protoss here on the map, Backwater Gulch. Before I get into this, however, I do want to just have a little announcement here. I have been working on my hotkey video, the one I promised a few weeks ago, and it should be out this week. It's just taking a lot longer than I thought it would. I've already tried a few of them. I didn't like how they turned out, so I'm going to be doing another take because I really want to make sure that this is some quality material for you and that you can really benefit from it. I think Terran players are going to find it really helpful, and Protoss and Zerg players should still watch because there's some little tricks in there that can benefit any race. So anyways, onto this cast. This is played on the public test realm, so all of those new patch notes, the increase in warp gate time, research from 140 to 180 seconds, as well as the gateway units building faster out of gateways than warp gates. These are all things that come into play in this cast because, like I said, it's on the PTR. That's where I've been playing all my games. I haven't played on the regular server in quite a while. I've got probably 40 games under my belt on the new patch. So, and you know what? Just to tell you, I'm really liking it. I don't really like how Terran versus Zerg is going right now. Oh man, those infestors are just really hard to deal with at the moment because they kill the Vikings, so the Broodlords can really eat up your mech or your biomech. So that's a little tricky right now, but Terran versus Protoss seems to be really good because you don't have to worry about 4 gates as much anymore. So I've been teching up really hard, really fast, just because it's so viable now, and you're going to see that in this. I'm going to be going for a biomech strat, similar to the one I posted on Force Strategy Gaming. If you guys haven't seen that, I can't imagine you haven't, but it's the featured video on my channel. So anyways, that's if you're interested in doing this exact build, then yeah, just go check that out. I did a real hardcore analysis of it, and it's honestly one of the most beautiful strategies I've seen in my life. I was just in love with this, so I had to try it, and I've been using it a lot here with a lot of success simply because the 4 gate is gone. And that is the major counter to my build here. But with this new patch, you're not going to get rushed as fast, so it's much more viable. So as you can see, I'm going to kill off that probe, just move around that marine, juking and jiving. Trying to kill him, but sadly I missed. I have to say, when you're recording with Fraps when playing, it it really does make your play a little bit slower than usual. But anyways, factory going down. Should get that refinery right afterwards. There it goes. Just so you have enough gas to support all this. I mean, it's hard tech. Like, it's 1-1-1, and it doesn't get any more crazy than that, except maybe the battlecruiser rush we saw in my previous game. But anyways, yeah. Also notice I am walling off. This is, in my opinion, probably essential now in Terran versus Protoss. Like I said, those gateway units build so fast now that they're going to be at your door with Stalkers and Zealots way quicker than before, even on a 4-player map like this one. So be very careful because you can just lose immediately if you're teching like I am. Only Marines versus Stalkers and Zealots is atrocious, so be aware. And as you can see, I'm going to put a tech lab on there, but then I realized, no, screw that. I'm going to get a Hellion, and that Hellion's the Scouting Hellion. It's very important to get, of course, as well as the bunker right there to complete the wall. Obviously, I get only 75% of those minerals back because of the new patch, but you only lose 25 minerals per bunker. That's a pretty good deal. Pretty good. So, not a big deal at all. And now that that's done, yeah, this is where the build order gets really complex. You're like making random add-ons here and there and adding a starport. Everything in this build order happens around 30 supply. And there you can see, that's why you need a wall, because if that got up, it's just really annoying to deal with, and you can't lose those Marines. They're so important later. And here goes the Hellion, just going to scout. Also, with that Hellion, do not use attack command. You must use move command. If your Hellion stops to attack, as you can see there, he would have been killed by the Zealot and Stalker. This way he just wildebeests right past, and it's just decent. Like, there's no other way to put it. I mean, I see his expansion. And I also noticed he had early gas. As you can see, he's already got 2 assimilators there, and those were put down very early. So I was a little confused. I was worried about some hidden tech. I just couldn't find it. And so I'm like, all right, well, if he's got hidden tech, maybe he's just like proxied some, Twilight Council, some random place on the map. But for now, I'm just gonna have to go with my usual build. This build does incorporate a Raven, so I am going to be safe from those DTs if that is what he chooses to do. And now that I've got all these production facilities, as you can see, it's kind of an all-in-ish build, but I will expand off this. It's not 100% all-in by any means. It's not really that cheesy. It's just a really one-base timing push into expand. That's how I would classify this. And because I was a tiny bit supply blocked here, I decided to get the Tech Lab onto the barracks early so I can research Combat Shield eventually. Also the Siege Tanks, Banshees. The Banshees, of course, with the Siege Tanks, it's just such a beautiful combination. You see, the Banshees are used to force them to get Stalkers, so you're going to want to show them that Banshee for sure. And once you force them to make Stalkers, your tanks are going to just lay waste to that kind of army. It's just really good. So I'll be hotkeying that Banshee to 1 and just going straight over to his base. It's a perfect position in the map for this kind of harassment, as you can see. Very short fly distance, and I can creep into that airspace behind his base quite easily. So the main trick now is just to keep producing those units. Don't worry about, you don't need to put down an early CC. You will expand as you attack, right at your natural instead of floating it over. No point otherwise. So just kill a few probes here. Always a good thing. Watch for his forces to come. You cannot lose Banshees. If you lose a Banshee, you might as well just leave the game. It's so tough to win if you lose those Banshees. They deal so much damage per second in your timing attack, and they're imperative in getting rid of any sort of Zealots, Immortals, Colossi, things that will hurt your tanks and Marines. So it's very important. Siege Tech goes up after you have 3 tanks. Your main timing here is to hit your opponent when you research Siege Tech. So that should be done by the time I get to his base, at which point I can siege up and just slowly whittle away his forces and push into his natural. Also, repair that Banshee. As you can see, I've got a Raven out as well. I'm assuming that because he saw my Banshee, he's going to be getting more Stalkers to deal with that, and the Raven's going to be used for a point defense drone in order to nullify those. It's so sick. Oh, it's such a good rush. I really like this build order. It just makes me happy that I play Terran, because the Marauder really doesn't make me happy I play Terran. But anyways, so normally you'll see this build push out earlier than I am here, but because I'm not 100% efficient and optimizing this build like the guy I copied was, that's Die-Star, obviously very good player. I don't have the optimization, so my build pushes out a little bit later. So if I can refine this a bit, it's going to be pretty good. And as you can see, it's great that I kept that Hellion alive, because now I can see his forces are out of position, so I can siege up way sooner than I normally would. So I'll siege up 1 tank. You're just going to want to leapfrog as you move forward, so the next tank sieges up, then the next tank sieges up, and then the next. And there you go, and then you're going to want to move that one back. I pushed him back so far right now that it's going to be really easy to just abuse that little crevice there and maximize siege tanks. So as you can see, he's got so many Stalkers because of the Banshees I made that the point defense drone I just laid down, look, those Stalkers did absolutely nothing. Save the Raven, by the way. You must pull that back. If you don't, oh man, you're dealing with the devil. So as you can see, in this case, he was teching a Colossi. You're going to want to snipe that as soon as possible. Obviously, Marine's not the best, so I'm going to pull those back and use my Banshees to get him, because obviously Colossi can't hit Banshees. And as you can see, the timing here is perfect. He expanded early, so he has less units than me. I, of course, expanded later, as you can see. And that'll just allow me to pretty much own face here on this probe. As you can see, just killing all the stuff, adding more units, and he decides to leave the game. So that's this Master League Quest episode. Obviously, I should be calling it a Diamond League quest because I am in Platinum in the public test realm. Everyone seems to be lower ranked than normal here. A lot of good players in the public test realm, not really many low-level players here. And so he was actually pretty good. Rank 1 Plat, it's very good in the PTR. And I'm, I believe, rank 5, so pretty even match. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you again for another Daily Dose of Ownage.